Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Professor Jeremiah Alioso. Welcome to Quality Service Management in Tourism and Hospitality. Last time, we were discussing about the 3S in hospitality management. We were able to discuss strategy and staff. So right now, we are to discuss system in hospitality management. So what is system? In all organization operates in business wheel, hierarchy, intent, and system management. The business wheel concentrates on resources, production, distribution, and sales and marketing. So we already know the 7 M's in management, such as the manpower, machine, materials, market, methods, minutes, and money. So these are all resources in a company, but with the addition of two more M's in the upgraded 9 M's in management, which in which we add um, measurement and Mother Earth as part of the extensive or expanded 9 M's in management, which are all part of the resources of any company. Now, any businesses or company use these resources in the preparation of their system or and then so hierarchy, intent, and circle around vision along with the mission, goals, objectives, policy, procedures, budget, and program. According to strategic system management, strategic input is processed for output with proper, constant, and continuous feedback to take care of a resource-based internal environment and industry-oriented external environment. When I discuss the quantity food production. Um, we have a topic on the model of the food service industry in which any organization revolves around or their operation is being affected by the pest. This is not the pest na ibig sabihin peste, mga insekto, mga daga or whatsoever, but it's actually an acronym which means about your environment. So P stands for political or legal matters, E is economical, S is socio-cultural, and T is for technological or macro environment. Meaning to say that we are being affected by everything that is happening within the pest. So companies should be able to develop a system by which they can adapt to the ever-changing pest environment. Example, right now that we are experiencing a global pandemic, definitely the system and the strategy of the different companies, not only in the hospitality management setting, they are able to change for change in order to adapt to the new normal. As we all know, and as we have observed, that we have to abide by social distancing. Everybody has to wear mask and face shield. And these are all applicable in the hospitality setting. You see that before in in the restaurants, dining is not allowed, or there's a limited seating capacity. The seating capacity is reduced to 50%. But now that things are starting to normalize or the new normal now is the seating capacity is parang you're seated one seat apart. There are demarcation lines by which you can sit, and there are seats or tables which are marked with X to indicate that this table is not allowed to be seated to promote social distancing. And you are not allowed to enter a restaurant facility if you do not fill up the um, health declaration form. Now, as we have observed or seen in some of YouTube videos or things that has went viral, in the Philippines, we are very lucky because people are a little more um, participative when it comes to these protocols. But in America, as we all know that there's a lot of Karen, the Karen, by in which they don't follow the protocol. They can just go to the restaurant without using face mask because they feel that it's a um, they because on the onset that the president of the United States um, is Donald Trump is not a believer of COVID-19 until it hit him hard, and now some are following. Now, in continuation, quality management or QMS is defined as a formalized system that documents processes, procedures, and responsibilities for achieving quality policies and objectives. A QMS helps coordinate and direct an organization's activities to meet customer and regulatory requirements and improve its effectiveness and efficiency on a continuous basis. Last time we were able to define or differentiate effective versus efficient. Now, your QMS or the way you manage your quality system should be effective and efficient, meaning to say that you should be able to achieve your quality objective. You should be able to manage. When we say manage, you have to plan. You have to perform the post-decon function or plan, organize, staff, direct, and control your quality system efficiently, meaning to say that you would be able to achieve your quality objective in such a way that you do not waste any resources or you're using the minimum amount of resources. And we understand that in the achievement of this quality objectives, you are to use a resource. But we have to make sure, of course, for cost control measures, we have to make sure that we are not wasting so much resources in the achievement of our plans and objectives. A quality management system is a set of business processes which are implemented to help an organization deliver products which consistently achieve customer satisfaction. And that is actually the goal of all of the organizations, to make sure that your customers are satisfied with your products and services. An effective system for managing quality translates an organization's purpose and goals into policies and resources which help every member of the organizations adopt the standard operating procedure or SOP. The use of management frameworks to ensure consistent quality isn't a new concept, but the purpose of quality systems has evolved slightly in the recent years. And as we have discussed in the evolution of the total quality management as postulated by the different quality gurus in our previous discussion, Joran, Demings, Shewart, they have made a significant contribution into the development of the quality management system that we know right now. So what are the benefits of quality management system? Implementing a quality management system affects every aspect of an organization's performance. The benefits of a documented quality management system would include: number one, when you have a quality management system, meeting the customer's requirements, which helps to instill confidence in the organization, in turn, leading to a more customers, more sales, and more repeat business. Definitely when you have a quality products and services, this will lead to the patronization of your because customers believe in you. You will have a repeat business. Customers will keep coming back to purchase and support your business. And if this happens, you will generate more and more sales. In addition, meeting the organization's requirement, which ensures compliance with regulations and provision of products and services in the most cost and resource efficient manner, creating room for expansion, growth, and profit. So, in addition to what I have said earlier, when you're when you have a when you are a believer of quality, customers will also believe in you. They will purchase and support your business. Then there's a more sales, more money will be coming into your company. And when this happens, your business will expand, your business will grow, you will have more profit. There will be more investors that will attract to you, stakeholders who will have a sense of loyalty into the business. You see that these are long-term effect of the quality management system. In addition, other additional advantage includes defining, improving, and controlling processes, reducing waste. We have learned that one benefit of total quality management is to reduce waste because although waste is waste, but there's money in waste. In as much as possible, we don't want any wastages. We don't want any defect because defect is waste. We don't want any wastage of our resources. Um, whether that's a waste of time, waste of people, waste of materials, we don't want any waste. Okay? Then prevent mistakes. Although mistake is inevitable or hindi natin maiiwasan, in as much as possible, kinakailangan nating iwasan dahil ang pagkakamali is an opportunity loss. It's a loss of customer, it's a loss of resource, it's a waste of time, and we don't want that to happen. That's why on the onset, nagkakaroon tayo ng series of trainings, research and development, and calibration so that maiwasan natin ang pagkakamali along the way. But I think that's one unique thing with service because hindi naman ang mga empleyado sa hotels or restaurant ay robot na kung saan ang kilos ay kalkulado. Hindi naman talaga maiiwasan ang pagkakamali, ang complaints. But then managers are developing series of procedures by which you could address possible problems should this happen. Then, in addition, we have quality management system lowers the cost, facilitating and identifying training opportunities. This is by which you are able to develop which area of the management you need to focus on after identifying the mistakes that you've had, after analyzing the customer complaints, incident reports. You have to focus on the areas by which you need training and development. Then you have to engage your staff. After all, in the concept of TQM, everybody is involved in the attainment of quality, whether that's on the lower level of the hierarchy, from the rank and file to the upper level of the top management. Everybody must be involved in TQM or total quality management. Then setting organization-wide direction. That's why on the onset or sa simula-simula pa lang, the vision, mission, and objectives must everybody should be aware of that so that it kinds of creates a ripple effect so that it is in everything that you do, there is a conscious effort in the achievement of whatever goal the company sets their foot into. Then communicating a readiness to produce consistent results because in quality management system, we need consistency. So what are the elements and requirements of a quality management system? Each element of a quality management system helps achieve the overall goals of meeting their customers and organizations' requirement. Quality management systems should address an organization's unique needs. However, the elements all systems have in common include the organization's quality policy and quality objectives, quality manual, procedures, instruction, and records, data management, internal processes, customer satisfaction from product quality, improvement opportunities, and quality analysis. And we will get into the details of this as we go along with the rest of the topic. The first quality elements or requirements would be the organization's quality policy and quality objectives. The creation of quality objectives is a common requirement of QMS standards, including the ISO 9001 series. These objectives are designed to encourage organizations to define strategic goals and purpose for the QMS. Now, just like how we do it in school, and it's the reason why our vision, mission, core values, program educational objectives are all being posted in bulletin boards. It's in our syllabus. It's being discussed in all of the orientation because we want everybody to be aware of this. We cannot reiterate much how these are all important so that everybody will participate in the achievement of the dream, the goal of the school. And putting this into the context of hospitality, it's pretty much the same that the vision, mission, and core values and objectives of the firm must also be you always have to reiterate this to your employees and also to your customers. Like this can be evident in the brochures or the company website, in the bulletin board, or in your marketing collaterals, so that everybody is aware of how you envision yourself, what's your reason for existence, what's your objectives. Objectives translate in an organization's vision into practice by creating a link between customer requirements and specific, measurable, and attainable goals. As I always say it, your goal or your objectives must be smart. It must be well written. When we say SMART, it's an acronym which means your objectives must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So those are the characteristics of a well written objective. Now, another element is quality manual. A quality manual is defined as the first documentation of a QMS. It states the motivation for adapting a QMS framework and the role of quality within the organization. ISO 9000 requirements for a quality manual prescribe that this document should describe the scope of QMS, detail the requirement of the QMS standard or framework, list any elements of the QMS which are excluded from the implementation, reference specific quality procedures used within the organization, provide visual documentation of critical process via flowchart, and provide the explanations, quality policies, and objectives. Now, if if you're a company that you would want to apply for ISO accreditation, all right, so just to recap, ISO is International Organization for Standardization, a third-party accrediting body which accredits or verifies your quality management system. What does this indicate? As you have learned in your assignment, I have asked you to research on ISO. No, um, they are establishing certain guidelines by which you have to follow because these are all indicators of your quality management system. And on the manual, each of the company applying for ISO certification should have a procedural manual by which clearly it defines what are your procedures in every activities of the company. It enlists the flow chart. Flow chart are like paradigm or diagrammatic illustration on the processes that you do in the different activities of the company. Say, for example, what are the activities and the procedures that you do for accounting? What do you do for marketing? All right. So this has to be clearly defined on the quality manual because service is very difficult to standardize as compared to a product. One way to standardize our procedure is by having a procedural manual, which is reflected on the quality manual. Okay. In continuation, organizational structure and responsibilities. A QMS should include a clear and updated model of the organization's structure and responsibilities of all individuals within the organization. Documentation of structure and responsibilities should include visual guides such as flowchart and clear documentation, as I have mentioned a while ago about the flowchart. Based on our topic last time in the second S of the hospitality, which is about the staff, we have learned about job analysis, which enlists the job description and job specification of the position. This must be very clear so that all of your employees would have a clear understanding of the roles that they need to fulfill on the organization. Documenting organizational structure should address the entire product life cycle using techniques such as flowchart, which depict the path of workflow. Defining responsibilities require an organizational chart with clearly defined roles which can be linked to the SOP or the standard operating procedure. Let's go to data management. Data is at the core of modern approach to total quality management. Data quality and availability are critical to the success of a QMS framework to drive continuous improvement and preventative quality control activities. Organizations with ineffective data management practices can experience inconsistent product quality, operating inefficiencies, compliance risk, poor customer satisfaction, and low profitability. An organization must be able to provide meaningful data evidence of effective quality controls. Data management system should support continuous improvement efforts and corrective actions by defining the types of data that are gathered by the organizations and third-party resources. The policy for data management should address data types, sources, collection methods, responsibilities, storage, disposal, and analysis. In quality management system, data is important because it is one thing by which you could arrive at a very concrete judgment or concrete solution because data are factual. In data management, there are different types of data required to demonstrate effective QMS performance, and this can vary between organizations. However, at a minimum, it should include customer satisfaction, supplier performance, product and process monitoring, non-conformances, trends, and preventative or corrective action. Let's go to processes. QMS are inherently process-driven approaches to quality control and assurance. Standards for quality management require organizations to identify and define all organizational processes, which use any resource to transform inputs into outputs. Virtually every responsibility in the organization can be tied to a process, including purchasing. Initial efforts to define process should create a high-level picture of how processes serve the organization and intersect with resources such as employees, machines, or technology. After identifying processes, organizations can begin to define standards and success metrics, such as identify organizational processes, define process standards, establish methods for measuring success, document a standard approach to ensure quality output, and drive continual improvement. Customer satisfaction with product quality. A core component of QMS is the requirement for organization to monitor customer satisfaction to determine if quality objectives are achieved. One of it's always necessary that our in a business life cycle, we have to achieve customer satisfaction. And one way to measure that is through satisfaction survey. And we are all aware of that. We are customers at one point or another in the many different industries. And customer satisfaction survey can be done in many different modalities. There are complaints procedures that must be undertaken. Sometimes having you're writing a complaint letter or you're complaining through different social media platforms. It's one way also to calibrate the quality of your products and services. Also, analytical applications to measure satisfaction trends and management review of customer satisfaction. Continuous improvement. Continuous improvement and adaptation are necessary for organizations to drive benefits with a QMS and maintain customer satisfaction. QMS dictate that continual improvement is an organization-wide responsibility. However, ISO 9001 is clear that leadership should play a core role in implementing a quality-driven culture. Clause 5.1.1 states that top management shall demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to the quality management system by taking accountability for effectiveness. So that is an important clause. And it is very clear that in the implementation of quality in your organization, it is the top leaders who should set good example. They should lead by example, that they demonstrate high level of quality in all of their undertakings. They should be accountable for the effective delivery of the quality management system. And we say that it's a continuous improvement because it's a continuous effort. We don't stop. We don't settle for mediocrity. We always yearn to be better. Quality instruments. The control and calibration of tools used to measure quality are integral to the success of QMS. If machines or equipments are used to validate products and processes, this equipment must be carefully controlled and calibrated according to industry standards. Depending on the instrument, this could involve periodic calibrations or calibration before every measurement. What do we mean by calibration? Calibration is checking. It's most especially with machines. We need to calibrate. We have to make sure that it's working properly. We have to make sure that the performance of the machine is always at its peak. Because we don't, as mentioned, in one of the intention of quality management system is we don't want a failure. We don't want defects. When this happens, this could potentially lead to not making it to quality. So we have to have control procedure into the calibration of the tools and equipments that you use in your production or in your company. The QMS system design within an organization should dictate a clear policy for the maintenance of quality instrument based on nationally or internationally recognized standards for each piece of quality equipment. Document control. The definition of a document in a quality-driven organization is broad. According to ISO, it includes all records of communications, evidence, QMS conformity, and knowledge sharing. QMS dictates standards for the types of documentation which are necessary to support quality management at a minimum, which may not be reflective of all the documents needed for accurate quality control. This generally includes quality objectives, a quality manual, process documentation, and records keeping. Document management systems must contain all evidence necessary to prove QMS performance objectively. Okay, so an example of a well-written document are communications. So example, all of the communication letters must be filed because these are clear indications of your communication with all of your stakeholders, communication with the upper management, communication with your employees, communication with your suppliers. That's why um, in business setting, there must be a receiving copy, meaning to say that there is an informed consent that this letter is being delivered. You have understood of the content of the letter, whether the communication is by written or in electronic, like emails. All right. um, because these are pieces of evidences by which you're trying to adhere to your standard, you're trying to achieve your goal. Um, and at one point in time, you need to have this for accreditation purposes, and sometimes these are being checked by third party representative to check if you are following what's written on your document, or on your documentation. Okay, so we have pretty much covered all of the elements of of a the elements and resources of AQMS. And we have covered all of the 3S in the hospitality management: the strategy, the staff, and the system. I hope that you have learned so much today. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you all on our next topic.